20 photos proving that Queen Elizabeth is absolute grandma goals. For many older people across the world, there are few more rewarding jobs than being a grandparent. Queen Elizabeth can certainly attest to that, as she has 8 grandchildren and a number of great-grandchildren in her family. So with that in mind, we've compiled a list of 20 pictures showing the royal grandmother in action. 20. Walking in a winter wonderland. Snow can be both a blessing and a curse, as the picturesque results can sometimes mask the dangers that come with it. Despite that though, plenty of people enjoy taking walks in those conditions, especially children. Princess Anne's son Peter Phillips was no different during his younger years, as a photograph of him stepping outside one winter's day proves. Phillips was joined by his grandma Queen Elizabeth on that occasion, with the snow settling just a few days after Christmas. Wrapped up in a brown fur coat, the sovereign was captured with a bright smile on her face, matching that of her grandson. The pair were spending time at the royal family's Sandringham estate, located in Norfolk, England. 19. A day out with grandma. Family outings can be very important for children in their formative years in encouraging the bond with their parental figures to strengthen. And grandparents can play a pivotal role in that as well, adding another dynamic to the group. With that in mind, Queen Elizabeth joined her royal kin in May 1985. Joining her daughter Princess Anne, the Queen was captured standing between her grandchildren Peter and Zara Phillips in a field, armed with a pair of binoculars. The quartet were watching that year's Royal Windsor Horse Show, an annual event that began back in 1943. In May 2019, the show will celebrate its 76th anniversary. 18. Family bonding. For younger children, visits to museums can be incredibly informative and interesting. When flanked by their family, though, the experience can be even more significant, especially if their grandparents are there as well. That was certainly the case in January 1988 when the royal family took a trip to Sandringham Museum. Alongside her husband, Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth joined her son Prince Charles and his wife Princess Diana that day, with 4 grandchildren in tow. Indeed, while looking at an old fire engine, the sovereign was snapped next to Peter Phillips and a very young Prince Harry. Just ahead of them were Zara Phillips and Prince William, fascinated by the vintage vehicle. 17. A clear view. Inside a large family unit, different members can experience varying degrees of connection with their relatives. However, within many clans the relationship between a grandmother and her granddaughter can often be quite strong. And it seems that photographic evidence would suggest that Queen Elizabeth might understand this exact point. Indeed, we can see that the monarch was photographed at another Royal Windsor Horse Show. And this time she was with a young Princess Beatrice, surrounded by a crowd of people. The oldest daughter of Prince Andrew, Beatrice was standing next to her grandmother on a metal gate, with Elizabeth pointing something out to their left. 16. A royal night out. A family night out can be memorable for a variety of reasons, giving people a chance to catch up with their relatives. In that respect, the royal family appears somewhat similar to the rest of us. And with that in mind, Queen Elizabeth shared a warm moment with her grandson Prince William at a special event. The Queen and William were attending the Festival of Remembrance in November 2015. The yearly event is held at the Royal Albert Hall on the night before Remembrance Sunday, honoring those who died in wartime. And on that note, the royals were pictured wearing poppies attached to their outfits. 15. Kiss from a prince. Some people can feel uncomfortable expressing familial love with kisses and physical contact. But Prince Harry tossed aside any embarrassment when he shared a kiss with his grandma, captured by the assorted media. In 2016, he also shared some kind words about Queen Elizabeth in a special documentary titled Our Queen at 90. "I look at the Commonwealth and think, look how much it's achieved," Harry said in the documentary. Elizabeth should be incredibly proud of what she's led and what she's achieved and what she's created amongst a huge amount of people from different ethnic backgrounds, different skin colors, different experiences, different islands, whatever it be. Hats off to her, it's incredible. 14. Grandparents unite. Much like a birthday or a wedding, christenings bring big families together. The royal family are no different in that respect, as they gathered for Princess Charlotte's ceremony in July 2015. The daughter of Prince William and Kate Middleton, Charlotte was born some 2 months prior to that in May. As the family arrived outside the church in Norfolk, Queen Elizabeth was caught looking over her great-granddaughter. She wasn't the only one, though, as Prince Charles's wife Camilla Parker Bowles followed suit, gazing upon her young granddaughter. With Middleton holding on to Charlotte, the photo also captured 4 generations of royalty together. 13. Big smile. Holding a young child's attention can be incredibly challenging, even at the best of times. However, grandparents can often be very helpful in that regard, utilizing the vast experience gained from looking after their own children. And Queen Elizabeth put her own skills to the test outside Buckingham Palace. Indeed, while standing on the palace's balcony, the Queen was joined by Prince William, Kate Middleton and their son Prince George. The latter was then captured looking up in the sky, before his great-grandma tried to divert his attention with a big smile. As proved here, a grandparent is always ready to spring into action, regardless of the location. 12. Reading with grandma. There are several different activities that a grandparent could get up to with their grandchild, whether it be strenuous or more laid back. In Queen Elizabeth's case, though, she opted for the latter when sitting with her granddaughter Zara Phillips at the Royal Windsor Horse Show. The pair were captured reading together, with Phillips fully engaged. Phillips went on to pursue a career in horse riding, following in the footsteps of her mother Princess Anne. After taking home the World Eventing Championship title in 2006, she also won the coveted BBC Sports Personality of the Year award that December. In 2012, though, the royal enjoyed her greatest success when she earned a silver medal at the London Olympics. 11. A royal visit. School is an integral part of a young person's life, regardless of where they come from. As with most institutions, there will come a time when parents or guardians are invited to see what their child has been getting up to. In Peter Phillips' case, though, he faced a rather unique situation. In February 1991, Queen Elizabeth paid Phillips a visit at Port Regis, a boarding school located in Shaftesbury, England. Clad in his black uniform, the youngster was captured showing some of his work to his grandmother, who watched on with interest. It's not every day that you see a monarch stood in a workshop. 10. Practice makes perfect. For most parents, the skills they pick up while caring for their children don't diminish with time. As a result, they're able to fully utilize those special abilities when they eventually become grandparents. And Queen Elizabeth certainly had plenty of practice in that respect, giving birth to 4 royal kids. Following the arrivals of Prince Charles, Princess Anne and Prince Andrew, Elizabeth had her last child, Prince Edward, in 1964. Some 2 years on from that, the sovereign was then snapped with young Edward sat on her knee, just behind a smiling Charles. As proved in her later years, that wouldn't be the last time the Queen dealt with royal babies. 9. Smile for the sovereign. The relationship between a grandparent and their grandchild can be incredibly special. Queen Elizabeth and Prince Harry appear to share that kind of bond, as proved by this photo at the Sandhurst Military Academy back in 2006. As we can see from the snap, Harry certainly has a lot of admiration for his grandma. Indeed, Harry expressed as much in the documentary Our Queen at 90, when he considered the young age of 21 that his grandmother ascended to the throne. It's just incredible to know that someone at that age appreciated and understood exactly what was expected of them, he said. And to basically put duty ahead of everything else so early on in her life is quite remarkable. 8. Grandma's a winner. Back in 1711, Queen Anne established the Ascot Racecourse in Berkshire, England. Some 300 years later, and its main event, the Royal Ascot, remains one of the most famous British sporting events in the calendar. The royal family still have close ties to the racecourse, with Queen Elizabeth attending the annual June races. In 2016, one of Elizabeth's horses won a race at the Royal Ascot, which led to a rather touching moment. Indeed, the Queen was presented with a trophy by her granddaughter Princess Beatrice, celebrating the victory. The pair were captured with beaming smiles on their faces as they looked upon the prestigious prize. 7. spending quality time with the grandkids. While Prince Harry no doubt shares a close bond with Queen Elizabeth, his brother Prince William also seemingly harbors enormous admiration for his grandma. The monarch was captured smiling with her two grandsons a few years ago. And William, like his brother, hailed her influence on him in the Our Queen at 90 documentary. Growing up, having this figurehead, having this stability above me has been incredible, William said in the 2016 special. I have been able to explore, understand, slightly carve my own path. I greatly appreciate and value that protection. Harry then added, I have been asking her for years what her secret is, but she won't tell me. 6. A day of polo. Much like she did with Princess Beatrice and Zara Phillips, the Queen found an activity to bond over with her grandsons Prince William and Prince Harry. Indeed, Elizabeth was captured watching a game of polo alongside the pair when they were very young, looking fully engaged. And there was potentially a reason behind that. Indeed, Elizabeth's father, King George VI, was a polo player during his younger years. And later the Queen's son, Prince Charles, took an interest as a youngster. Perhaps as a result of that, William and Harry followed suit when they got older, deepening the royal family's connection to the game. 5. Grandma's approval. Back in 2001, Prince William met his future wife Kate Middleton at the University of St. Andrews, located in Scotland. The pair became romantically involved the following year, before getting engaged in November 2010. A few months later, William and Middleton then tied the knot in one of the biggest events of 2011. In the years since then, William and Middleton have started a young family of their own. Indeed, the pair are now the proud parents of Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis. As shown in this picture of the mom and Queen Elizabeth, the latter clearly has no issues with her grandson's choice of partner. 4. Given a helping hand. During their formative years, most children are taught to respect their elders, especially their grandparents. Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are no different, as the sisters helped Queen Elizabeth with some items outside a church on the day after Christmas one year. On that note, Prince Andrew's youngest daughter revealed some interesting information about her grandmother. According to Eugenie, Elizabeth is more comfortable staying at Balmoral Castle, the royal family's Scottish residence. It's the most beautiful place on earth, she told Our Queen at 90. I think Granny is the most happy there. I think she really loves the Highlands. Walks, picnics, dogs, a lot of dogs, there's always dogs. And people coming in and out all the time. 3. A royal tour. Since being crowned queen back in 1953, Elizabeth has overseen a number of grand openings. In July 2016, she attended her latest event, opening the East Anglian Air Ambulance Base in Cambridge, England. However, she was met by a very familiar face that day, with Prince William giving her a royal tour of the area. While William himself was one of the co-pilots for that organization at the time, there might have been another reason why he was entrusted with the Queen's tour. A lot of people get very excited and sort of nervous around her, he said in Our Queen at 90. And I've seen some very comical moments. I've seen people literally faint in front of her. 2. One big family gathering. Large family gatherings can be hugely enjoyable events, giving relatives the opportunity to reconnect. The royals could relate to that in November 2007 as Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles fronted a special dinner. Indeed, the get-together marked Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip's 60th wedding anniversary. As the royal family gathered in London, England, they all posed for a group photograph with Elizabeth and Philip taking center stage. All 4 of their children were attendants that night, as well as 6 of their grandchildren. Since then, the pair have celebrated their platinum anniversary in November 2017. 1. The first of many. Becoming a parent for the first time is one of the most important moments in a person's life. From that point on, these people are responsible for the well-being of their child, guiding them through the good times and the bad. However, the job of a grandparent is also significant. Queen Elizabeth could attest to that, as she was captured standing over her first grandchild Peter Phillips in December 1977. Throughout the next few decades, those numbers only grew, with Princes Charles, Andrew and Edward having children of their own. Now, the Queen is a great-grand